Dear students, I am sure you like poetry for its sheer beauty of words, music, and the meaning that is conveyed. Here, let us see one of the poems of Emily Dickinson, who was an American poet. Fewer than a dozen of her nearly 800 poems were published in her lifetime. Life, death, immortality, surprised, how can they be related? Let us relate these three to the poem of Emily Dickinson, Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Now, here's the poem for you. Because I could not stop for death. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove. He knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school, we passed the fields of gazing grain, we passed the setting sun, or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quavering and chill, for only gossamer my gown, my tippet only tule. We passed before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground, roof scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horses' heads were towards eternity. The poet personifies death, portraying the figure as a friendly and cordial suitor, quoting the speaker on a pleasant carriage ride, describing death with words that characterize him as being kindly and exhibiting civility, unlike the way death is seen in John Donne's Divine Sonnet 10, Death Be Not Proud, where Donne tells death that it is not mighty and dreadful. Although completely engaged with life, the speaker suddenly must face her own immortality. Death brings with him immortality, may be the greatest gift one can receive as an offering that may alleviate any fear concerning afterlife. The verb tenses switch from past to present in the last stanza with feels, signaling the ongoing spiritual presence after death. Although I heard a fly buzz when I died, also contains the persona speaking from the grave, suggesting an afterlife. The poem ends with the moment of death after a display of faltering faith and a brief bit of uncertainty. The speaker relinquishes all her life, labor and leisure, similar to the manner the persona in I heard the fly buzz had signed away all her earthly belongings. Dickinson cleverly depicts the couple's journey towards eternity, with scenery symbolizing the various stages of life. First, the innocence and leisure of childhood, then the productiveness and labor of adulthood, and the aged one's awareness of immortality in the image of the setting sun. In doing so, Dickinson reviews life at the moment of death, as though in the cliché about life flashing before one's eyes, but with an accompanying notion that death is also a natural stage in the cycle of life. Finally, Dickinson further comforts readers about the prospect of death by labeling the grave as a house. Indeed, the speaker reports the centuries since her death have passed so quickly that the time feels shorter than the day, which the poet already has metaphorically presented as representing a mortal lifetime. Consequently, the speaker encourages readers to have greater faith because one who has passed through life to death now has reassured them about what bliss they can expect afterwards. Thankfully, in many of her poems, retrieved and preserved, though now more than a century has passed since her death, Emily Dickinson continues to speak